Hello, and thanks for joining us on this HOA leader video chat with two of our experts. My name is Gabriella Falisco, and today I'm joined by Janet Illusion Aronson of Massachusetts and Molly Peacock of Virginia. Today, to answer a question from a reader, we're discussing whether you can ever fudge a little when you're selling the owners on a special assessment. In a nutshell, our reader says the HOA stated that a $24,000 assessment was necessary to replace roofs, and then it turns out the actual roof work cost $11,000 to $14,000. And the president now says the balance will be for reserves and other needed repairs. So our question today is, if the board knew it was inflating the special assessment to build reserves, was that okay to not fully disclose that? And then to add another twist, which we'll discuss in our second video, our reader says one person is president and treasurer, and we presume also a board member. So we'll address whether it's okay for one person to hold all of those positions in our second video. So let's first discuss whether boards can increase the amount of a special assessment for reasons they don't fully disclose to owners. Janet, why don't you start us off?
Okay. First of all, not disclosing, misrepresenting, fudging it, those are not acceptable practices on the part of the board. They should be being truthful and transparent with the unit owners. They have a duty, and I feel that if they intentionally, knowingly fail to disclose something or intentionally mislead unit owners, I think that could be a breach of their duty. So I want to be clear about that. However, levying a special assessment or increasing a budget or establishing a budget that includes funds for the reserve is perfectly legal and actually something that I highly recommend. In light of the post-Surfside tragedy, I think that boards really do need to carefully look at their reserve accounts. And if they are underfunded, I really feel that they should actually be perhaps doing a supplemental or special assessment to increase their reserve fund. So certainly a legitimate purpose. And also just to mention, there can be, when they do these projects, there can be contingencies that are factored into the assessment. So it's not unusual to have, a set cost, but an additional amount that would be included for contingency purposes.
Molly, tell us what's happening in your area.
Yes, in Washington, D.C. and in Virginia, it is statutorily required to disclose all of the anticipated costs, reasons for the proposed special assessment. I think that it's a legal requirement to be truthful about what monies are being raised and the purposes. It's also a moral and ethical requirement. We want to inspire confidence in the leadership and not undermine and foment feelings that there is lack of transparency, that we're being lied to. The lie or the perceived lie can then undermine all kinds of efforts that the board puts forward. Something that you said, Gabriella, made me think, I wonder if, I may be stealing your thunder, this board president wanted to try to sell the program by not emphasizing or even hiding the fact that approximately 10,000 of this special assessment was going to fund reserves or be devoted to reserves. And an anecdote is I attended a meeting with a client just this past week, and we were seeking a majority vote on a special assessment. It passed, and a large part of the special assessment was going to replenish the reserves. And this particular client had the legal authority to do that expressly in its bylaws. This was in Washington, D.C. And the bylaws said, sometimes you wake up as a board member and you notice that the reserves are very depleted, and that could be a variety of legitimate, unfortunate reasons. But it means you need to take action and you need to fund them quickly. So you can assess everybody an additional assessment or a special assessment for this purpose. And indeed, that's what happened. The success story, more ingredients for that success were this board of directors had worked for about 6 months with FAQs, with other info meetings, and was very transparent and frank with the membership how urgent this need was. And so it's possible you don't have to lie to try to get something passed, or even be cute with the language.
Right, great. Well, thanks, Janet and Molly, for your quick takes on this topic. And listeners, thanks for joining us. We hope you'll join us again next month.